quickly approaching the true midpoint of the year, the end of June, and it's been a good year so far. What about you? How have you been doing? Let me know how you're doing in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Are you on a fitness journey, or are you just dropping by to say hello and to spread some encouragement, drop some encouragement from me, because I'd really appreciate that. But I'm having a lot of fun doing this. I think the habit is relatively solidly established. So this has been quite a lot of fun, going from not doing a very regular workout, I think a year and 2-3 months ago, April, to trying to get myself into shape with a 7-minute workout, to now having these full 30 to 60-minute routines, and to be a certified trainer and to be able to build programs for other people if I choose to, which is also going to be, which is just a fun accomplishment to have made this year, I think. So yeah, what else is new? Not a lot. Had a good session with the physiotherapist yesterday. This shoulder is acting or behaving strangely. You start to notice, first of all, when you get 40, your body starts to move differently. Second of all, you just notice that recovery takes a bit longer, especially on weeks that you don't sleep your 7 to 8 hours. So I am actually going to do a full session with him where we are going to look at how I'm moving, to look at my structure and my movement patterns, see if there's anything we can improve so that I can keep increasing the workload in an appropriate way over time, because I think that's one of the things that maybe sometimes we skip. We get into the groove, and the groove might be right, it might be very good, or it might be slightly off, and if the groove is slightly off over time, we might accumulate some damage, like I've done, I think, with my shoulder and the top of my neck, and I just want to get rid of it once and for all, because I've got another 60 years of active and self-sufficient life to be living. In any case, it's 5:25 in the morning, I think, and we're about to get started here on some mobility and some core. Like I always say, we're good just the way we are. We've got to love ourselves before we can move on. And the only way to get anything done is by showing up and doing the work. So we're going to get started. And if you're dropping by, let me know where you're dropping by from. Are you in Europe? Are you in America, Canada, the UK? Are you further east from where I'm at least? Let me know. I'd love to hear from you and understand where you are in your journey, or what brings you to Kettlebell. Hey, I see a couple of messages drop by. I'm just going to finish this stretch and come over and say hello. All right. And thanks for dropping by. I appreciate that. Did you choose? Hey Sam, good morning. River. Sam on Morningstar, thank you very much. Hey, thanks for dropping by. Trying to touch the sky, yeah. Not always easy, right? It's actually a morning mobility routine. Like I said, I'm turned 40 this year, so if I don't keep up with my mobility and the way my body moves, well, you know, it's either use it or lose it. What can I say? And I think stretching is often overlooked in training, at least I did for 25 years. And you end up paying the price for that. So we should all remember that. And if anything, do at least some mobility in our life and some stretching work once or twice a week. But I decided I enjoyed it so much, so I do it every day. Actually, Thursday, if you're interested, I'll be dropping a video with my entire mobility routine. So if you are interested in following along or discovering a mobility routine for yourself, then subscribe and get that video Thursday at least for yourself. Because I can tell you, the fact that I can do a toddler squat again and sit deep, even if I'm holding a weight while I'm doing it, has significantly increased my athletic ability. I see a couple more messages that come by the way, so I'm just going to finish these stretches and come over and read them. Give you an answer if you've asked any questions, right? But I appreciate all of you dropping by and saying good morning. That's really nice. Where are you all looking in from? Which part of the world? And do you do any kind of sports? Like, are you into fitness, or cycling, or running, or athletics, wrestling, judo, jiu-jitsu, rugby, football? Which sport has captured your imagination? And have you been practicing? Triple Two, I'm doing good, thank you. Attia Boxing Wall, congratulations. Happy birthday, that's nice. I hope you're going to have a great day. And Johnny Hubar, hello. And I'm pretty sure we consume a lot of bananas. That does make sense if you think about it. So, anybody here doing any kind of sports? Maybe people doing kettlebell sports themselves? Maybe you're into heavy club swinging, powerlifting, or maybe strongman, CrossFit, high rocks. It'd be interesting to learn. I'd be interested to learn more about high rocks if anyone participates in that. Or maybe you're into different kinds of sports, maybe team sports, competitions, tennis, padel, big, I think, hockey, or watching the European Championships, football. Let me know. I'd be curious to hear from you what you're into and what you're watching or practicing yourself. I always like to do this one for about a minute, by the way, just because it feels really good to be sitting in this position. And it took me a long while to actually be able to get down this far and to sit in a proper deep squat. Which, by the way, I have two children, toddlers. They just bounce down into these kinds of squats all the time. But if you're like me and you've turned 40, it's a different level of mobility and flexibility that needs to be reached to be able to do that. So I'm designing my new program for the next 4 weeks, by the way. Also important to notice, I'm going to focus on strength. Well, sounds like someone's about to wake up. Let's see if he goes back to sleep with his mother or not. Anyway, we're going to be focusing on strength. Am I 6 foot plus? I think I am 1 meter 83 according to my last official measurement. Which means I shrunk 1 centimeter, which I think is 6 foot. So, yes-ish. Not that tall. I'm from Holland. And everyone here is like 7 feet, if that's correct. And these dudes are like huge, like, well, not 7 feet, 6'4". They're like, I have to look up at a lot of guys, and that's the average. But thank you for the compliment, I appreciate that. Go back to my videos to the first live stream of the year. You'll see that I was not that flexible when all of this started, by the way. So this is 180 days of progress. And I'm very happy about that. It's always a hard one. But always feels really good to be able to do that. Same with my hamstrings. To be honest, it took me 3 or 4 months of doing mobility to actually figure out a routine that I enjoy and that works for me. And this will last between 10 and 15 minutes. Sometimes I add some things, sometimes I take some things out. But there are some big mobility exercises and stretches that I tend to just always do, usually at the start of a workout, just to get some daily mobility in, which is just never a bad idea. Okay. That was mobility. I'm going to move on to some light core work. And then that's going to be it for today. There we go. So thanks for dropping by, everyone, and for dropping in. I appreciate that. We're going to start with McGill's Big Three, and then we're going to do some other core exercises with a kettlebell. So technically, everything with a kettlebell is a core exercise. the reason for me to do core, by the way, is to have that solid foundation, first of all, for daily life, but second of all, to be able to keep that stable trunk when we're swinging a kettlebell or lifting heavy weights, because there are some movements that I would not want to have any instability in my core, in my body, while I'm doing that. And these 3 exercises have proved to be a big help in doing that. I'm going to do some hip bridges next, by the way, because that hip thrust with core and glute activation is just as important. As the sit-up or the stiff trunk like this. So just keep that in mind. Find this one particularly hard. for some reason. Yes, and I wish I had more space to walk around like a full home gym. But I'm actually live streaming to you from my kitchen with Alfred. Alfred's my trusty companion. He's also the only one who's awake at this time. Everyone else is thankfully still asleep. Yeah, you can do some marching in place, or you can do something like that. Whatever works for you. What can I say, friends? That's it for this morning. That was a 27-minute workout. Nothing too crazy, nothing too heavy, because this is obviously also still a recovery week. Good morning, Strelok. Thanks for dropping by. Mobility's done for this morning. I'm just going to record a short and practice giving the instructions for my full program that I'm going to drop in a bit with the kettlebell. A couple of months, because I'm producing everything myself at home on my laptop, and I have a full-time job and a family to see to. But it is coming probably somewhere in July, so keep an eye out on that. And like I always say, we're good just the way we are. We've got to love ourselves before we can move on. Thanks Sam, River, Samuel Morningstar, which I think is a reference to the Wheel of Time, Ed, the Wandering Hippie, Triple Duo, SC Boxing, Johnny Hubars, and Strelok for dropping by. I really appreciate that. The only way to get anything done is by showing up and doing the work. So I'll see you tomorrow for another light kettlebell session. Take care, friends.